YouTuber doesn't
What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Yes, you could hear Joshua because I still have his stream up over here. Oh, there he is. And he's out of there. Dropping my link over there. Monday giveaways tonight and the Q&A. So fill the chat up with your questions. If you want to talk directly to me in the chat, all you've got to do is type my name, which is CiottiFPV. You got to make sure you spell it right, though. If you spell it Cootie or Kiadiaya or Kiayoyo, it's not gonna work. You gotta spell it right, and you gotta make sure you don't put a space in between my last name and the FPV. And then it'll light up an orange, and I know that I will know that you're talking to me. There are some English words for you. In the chat, EE Doc, Frank Nicholas, DJ CJX, Alexander Romanenko, Drone Pilot, Free Range Chicken, Rick Zapata, Dauntless, Riot 9, Drone Pilot again, Bad Habit, Huff 19, Ribby Tim, Frank Nicholas, Splinter FPV, Zach, CMYK in the house doing some dope graphic design, I'm sure, Dog Life UK, Dauntless, William Barlow, and that's the whole first page. If you want to hear your name, you got to get here early. You guys have been tagging me like crazy already. Looks like DJ has a question. The very first time I was tagged, thanks for the recommendation on motors. My tiny trainer should be back in the air tomorrow. Very cool, DJ. Not a question, but a good statement. Drone Pilot saying hey, Free Range Chicken saying hey, Bad Habit, CMYK, Dauntless. Tiago says CiottiFPV is Alex. He forgot to close the mic. It should have been really quiet. I had it turned down as low as I could. Rumi Tim says JB wants that link. Okay, so I dropped it over there. That's good. Ed K saying hey. Freelojo saying we hear everything. Y'all man says miss you. Thanks, brother. You guys really missed me that bad? It was only one day. It was only one day that I didn't stream. I know like every day is like a, it's a real thing, but sometimes I got to take a day off. Sometimes real life kicks your ass, and you just gotta work it, and that's okay. Yeah, this stream is gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's not gonna be one of my best ones, but we're gonna stream. We're gonna hang out. You guys are gonna ask questions. I'm gonna answer them. And then we're going to do some giveaways. Here's how the giveaways work. If you want to get in on them, you've got about 20 minutes. 3 of the 4 giveaways every other Monday night are run through Patreon so that I can get in touch with you guys. And so that I can have individual tiers so that if you only fly 5-inch, you can only enter to win 5-inch stuff. Or if you only fly Tiny Whoop, you can only enter to win Tiny Whoop stuff. This way you get stuff you can actually use. Isn't that a novel concept for giveaways? Have you guys ever won a giveaway other than one of mine, of course? Have you guys ever won a giveaway that you've actually been able to use the thing? I haven't. It's always been just like, oh, well, I mean, I just entered for the sake of entering. So yeah, here's how it works. If you go over to the CiottiFPV.com link tree, which a moderator will probably drop a link to in a second. There's a link over to my Patreon page. For $5 a month, you can enter the Tiny Whoop and Toothpick tier. For $10 a month, you can enter the Cinewhoop and 3-inch micro brushless tier. For $20 a month, you can enter the 5-inch tier. Or for $30 a month, you can enter all of them, all 3. And then the 4th giveaway we're going to do tonight, as always, is Super Chat based. And we've got a frame, we've got an ESC, we've got a t-shirt, and we've got some Stan FPV, Acrobrat, or any other 3-inch specific ducts for the open to everybody giveaway. The other giveaway is just to rip through them real quick. Tiny Whoop and Toothpick giveaway is a really cool little 3D printed case for the Tiny Whoop and for the battery, a cockroach frame, and all of the good Tiny Whoop propellers. For the 3-inch micro brushless and Cinewhoop tier, it's a full set of the T-Motor 1507 V2s and a bunch of the specific propellers for them, although the V2s are drilled for both the Weirdo propellers and the normal, normal T-mount propellers. And then the 5-inch tier is the Gem Fan and the Dow 5-inch folding props, as well as a set of T-Motor, I forget what the designation is, but they're 2305s, 2400 kV, I think. So yeah, some pretty cool giveaways for tonight. Let me keep going here on the chat. What do we got? Vicious Stitches saying what's up. Y'all Man Flights saying, oh, we got that. Tannard saying hello. FPV Trucker, Freelojo, Brendan D, Droney, I guess this is the other way to get your name right, is just to tag me and then say, hey, or anything, pretty much anything. Droney Droid, Todd Stafford, says easy for you to say, man. Oh, YouTube did the thing. Scrolling back up. And there we go. UAV Tech is in the house. He says, Bardwell went late. Can you believe it? Dude runs like clockwork. I know, right, Mark? Everybody say hey to UAV Tech. That is Mark Spatz. If you don't know UAV Tech, leave right now and go to his channel. Give him a sub for sure here on YouTube. If you've got a couple of bucks, give him a Patreon submission. Submission? That's a strange word to have come out of my mouth there. Patreon subscription. That's what I meant to say. Mark is doing God's work, and you're going to love it. CMYKFPV says, currently flying B-Brain brushless 2S exclusively outdoors, beating up the battery strap. Any recommendations for better rubber band solution or alternatives? 2S, huh? Most of the battery straps are going to be a little too big for 2S, probably. Do me a favor, Steven, shoot me a message outside of here, and I will dig through. I've battery straps in a couple different spots. I'll dig around and see what the shortest one is. I want to say it's Pyrodrone, but I'm not sure. But there, I have every micro battery strap available. One of them is probably short enough for you. Just remind me. Y'all Flight says, how you been? I have my son now, so that's why I've been out. Good to hear it, Y'all Man. Been all right. Double A is here. What's up, brother? Brendan D says, why do we get sensor lost message from Tyrannus X9D from 2019? I get the sensor lost message every so often, like if I'm standing too close to the rig. Are you getting it like constantly, Brendan? Is that what you're asking? Or is it just random? Because if it just like randomly pops up, it's pretty normal. But if you're getting constantly, then that could be a problem. HawkFPV says, any thoughts on the Emax HD2? I saw like a thumbnail of it, but I haven't had a chance to like actually look at it. Chat, do me a favor, tag me and tell me everything I need to know about the Emax HD2. You guys know just as well as I do. It looked like a toothpick, or I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow. Unless you guys educate me on it, and then we'll talk about it tonight. DQ says, what's up? Mark Willis says, XT30 or XT60 on 3-inch? Really good question, Mark. If you're weight conscious at all about the 3-inch rig, XT30 for sure. If it's like a really big fat 3-inch Cinewhoop, like 400, 500, not even 400, I would say like 500, 600 grams, doesn't really matter. I mean, the extra couple of grams going up to the XT60 isn't going to make a difference. And if it's that fat, you're going to be pushing a bunch of voltage, so it might be actually better. Let me say this: under 400 grams XT30, over 400 grams XT60. You could definitely argue with that and say under 300 grams XT30, over 300 grams XT60. But there's some info for you to chew on. There goes Remy Tim with the Patreon link. Thanks, brother. HawkFPV said, we got that. HawkFPV, you were doing this the other day, weren't you? Repeating questions over and over again. If you weren't, sorry. If you were, stop it. Stop it. I think it was you. Stop if it was. If not, it's all good. You can ask twice, but if I see it a third time and a fourth time when I'm scrolling down here, I'm going to get very upset with you through the internet. Double A says, yes, that is very important, and yes, we missed you. We can have both and make it work. Love you, buddy. Thanks, dude. There goes Freelojo dropping the Linktree link. Much appreciated. Hey, over on the Linktree link and CiottiFPV.com, also, there's a million different ways that you guys can support me. This has been my full-time job for coming up on a year. It's been awesome. It is very close to being at a point where I can just like keep going for as long as FPV is really a thing. Basically, this is at a point where if it just gets a little bit bigger, I can afford health insurance. And then, like, that's kind of all I want, man. I don't need a big fancy car. I don't need a big fancy house. I don't need anything big or fancy. I just need to, be able to go to the doctor if I get sick. You guys have done that, and that's super cool. And you should all be super proud of that. But, yeah, we just need to grow it a little bit more. If everybody just kicks in a little bit, we can do it. CiottiFPV.com has a bunch of different ways you can do that. Some of them are free, like the affiliate links. If you or anybody that you know is doing an order on God's website, FPV Crate, FPV Cycle, Amazon, if you send them my affiliate link and they click that affiliate link before their order, or if you do that, I will get free money. And it makes a huge difference. And you guys have been doing amazing at actually clicking the affiliate links. Which is something that I forget to do. I literally forget to click my own affiliate links before I do orders. I don't know if it'll work anyway. I keep hiding behind like, maybe it doesn't work that way. And but I'm just the worst. in that way. I'm the best in many other ways. Not the best, but pretty good. So yeah, there you go. Eric Schroeder with the other way you can support me is by doing a super chat like Eric Schroeder did here with a $4.99 one. He says, enjoying the content, thanks for what you do. Thanks to you, Eric, for supporting me and literally allowing me to do what I do. How about that? Yeah, lots of cool stuff going on over on CiottiFPV.com. I got a bunch of stickers over on the Etsy store. There's a Fiverr page, which is pretty soon going to turn into FPVinstructor.com, where I want to work with you as an instructor to help you fly better, help you build better, help you tune better, help you spec out your builds better, right? I've spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars blowing up an entire Kallax cube worth of electronics. Don't do that. Spend $40 and I'll tell you what not to buy and what to buy, and then you can save yourself $400. Or I can help you, if you've been flying for 6 months, I can give you tips from somebody that's been flying for over 4 years. And you can start flying like you've been flying for a year and save yourself a bunch of time. And a bunch of other cool stuff. Let my mistakes benefit. Oh man, it did it again. YouTube, you are just on fire tonight, scrolling to the bottom of the chat and wrecking my day. Yeah. UAV Tech says, one day we thought your channel was done, one day missed, write them off. Just kidding. Abraham says, hey, howdy, hey. Thanks for the 3-inch hookup, way above and beyond expectations with all the extra goodies. Awesome. Glad it made it, Aber. And glad you dig it. Aber won one of the giveaways 2 weeks ago. Which is what he's talking about. Dingle says, I won your Tiny Hawk 2 freestyle and it's pretty fun. It just does this weird thing where it slightly rolls and pitches when it's 0 throttle. So, Dingles, that sounds a lot like air mode not being on. That is a rig that I flew before the giveaway, and I don't have air mode permanently enabled. I have air mode on a switch. So I bet you don't have that switch in the right position. So go into the modes tab. You can do one of two things. You can either go into the modes tab and figure out which switch I have air mode on and start using air mode in a switch, or just go to the config tab and just permanently enable air mode, and then you'll be good to go. Slide by, look at 2 people in a row talking about giveaway winnings. Jeez, it's almost like I do a lot of giveaways, and joining my Patreon is really worth it. I need that little ding triangle sound for when I do that. Ding! I close both my eyes like a spaz. Slide by FPV says, headed to bed, but wanted to say hi. Thanks for hanging, Slide by. Sweet dreams, I guess. Oh my god, that's weird. Cool Coyote says, I ordered that frame this morning. I'll be sending you one in about a week. Which frame, Cool Coyote? Forgive me, I talk to a lot of people. Mark Turgensen saying hello. Brian Ladmiraw saying my father is about to make a $1,500 to $3,000 purchase on Amazon. I told him to make sure to use your link. Just curious, what would you get from a $3,000 order? So it's 6%, Brian. So I'm bad at math, but luckily everything has a calculator. 3,000 times 0.06. Really? Holy shit. Did I do that math wrong? That can't be right. 000 times 0.06, right? 0.06. Yeah. $180. Jesus Christ. So Brian Ladmiraw basically just did a $100. Well, no, actually, he didn't do a $180 super chat because YouTube takes 30% of the super chats. So 180 times not 0.03, just 0.3 is 54 plus 180. Brian Ladmiraw with a $230 super chat just now by having his father use. Dude, that's insane. Thank you, brother. Very, very cool of you. Jack Lanois says, what are the most efficient props you've come across? I used the Dow Cyclone 5040Cs, which drew 75 amps max. Then I tried Ethics S5, which should be the same pitch, and they draw 100 plus amps. Yeah, Jack, really, really, really good question and a really good topic to talk about. So, we've actually talked about this quite a bit recently. How the pitch measurement that these prop companies put on their propellers don't mean shit. Like they should be very meaningful, but they aren't. So the only thing you guys ever want to pay attention to when you're looking at the pitch of a propeller is how that compares to other propellers that specific company makes. The problem with that, though, is even that, like, so HQ, for example, right, they have the S series of propellers. You can only really compare the pitch within those S series of propellers. Their other not like their old V1Ss, you can only compare the pitches between the V1Ss. They're just not doing things correctly, basically. They're just not properly. There's a specific way to calculate the pitch of a propeller, and it seems like they're not doing it. Or the other elements of the propeller are extremely efficient or non-efficient. In general, what I've found is that gem fan props tend to be the most efficient, closely followed by DAL and T-motor, although the T-motor props are, I believe, made by gem fans, so the T-motor props are kind of basically just gem fans. And then the HQ props tend to be the least efficient. Alternatively, HQ props tend to be the most durable, which is why a lot of people like them, and some pretty famous pilots fly them, right? Gem fan props tend to be in the middle in terms of durability. DAL props tend to be the worst in terms of durability, and then T-motor is kind of somewhere in there between gem fan and DAL. I know it sounds nuts, but you can hear how efficient propellers are. They just sound more efficient. HQ props are very growly and very loud and very just growly. And that's the turbulence. That's them being not efficient. Whereas like the Dow 5040s, I loved those propellers. Those were my propeller of choice for a long time until I got so sick of the lack of durability. But you can literally hear it. Like those Dow 5040 props sound like very wispy and very smooth and very like there's a little like when they're spinning. The T-motor 5143s are the same way, but they're a little bit more durable. That was my next preferred prop. And now I've moved to the Gemfan 5143 3s, which they still sound more, and they are more efficient than HQs. But you can hear it. You can literally hear it. If you put like those three different propellers on three different rigs and you just hover them and you blindfold someone, they'll be able to tell. It's pretty cool. But yeah, unfortunately, Jack, you can't just use the pitch number as a measure of efficiency. Also, here's the other thing: efficiency changes at different ground speed, at different amounts of ground speed. So, like for example, a more pitchy prop. I might not be right here. I'm just going to say this. I think this is right, but if it's not right, it's not my fault. I think that a more pitchy prop at high speeds is more efficient than a low pitch prop. So like, let's talk about going 100 miles an hour. I believe that which is really fast, right? I believe to go 100 miles an hour with like a Gemfan 5152, which has got a ton of pitch on it, I believe that propeller at that 100 miles an hour, if you were to take off and just go the whole battery, right? I think that would last longer than a low pitch prop, like a 30 pitch prop that you would have to spin at 11 billion miles RPM to be able to make it go 100 miles an hour. Because with like a 30 pitch prop, in order to spin that damn thing at a high enough RPM to go 100 miles an hour, you'd be creating a bunch of extra heat and all these other things that would, and it's just not meant for that. It's not meant to go fast. The low pitch props are meant to be as light as possible and go slow. And then as the pitch goes up, your cruising speed goes up as well. And the throttle sensitivity that you have at the different speeds changes too. So it's really straightforward. If you want to go really fast, you use a high pitch prop. If you want to go really slow, you use a low pitch prop. Right tool for the job. Any aerodynamicists out there, feel free to call me on whether or not the high pitch propeller is actually more efficient at higher speeds. Abraham says, your product catalog definitely needs YouTube did the thing shirts with scrolling on the back. It's going to happen, Aber. It's in the cards, man. Yeah, we're going to get there. Huff19 says, any experience with Lumineer Lux VTX? Does it need to be unlocked? Troubleshooting for a friend. No experience with the Lumineer Lux, although, is that the one that is identical to the Rush tank? If that's the one that's identical to the Rush tank, then it very well might need to be unlocked, or it might be locked in pit mode. If it's locked in pit mode, get smart audio set up, get into the OSD, go to the VTX in the OSD, and there's like a hidden kind of like second menu of the OSD screen. At the very bottom of the OSD screen, there's two options with little arrows next to them. One is like set or save or whatever to like lock in your settings, and the other one is like it's like next screen. It's like the very last option before exit or save, and that'll go to another screen, and there's only one option that you can choose in that secondary VTX screen, and it's either race or free, I want to say. Whatever it's on, switch it to the other option, and that's this like super annoying way that you need to unlock some of these VTXs that come locked into pit mode. So give that a shot. If it looks like the Rush tank, little 20x20 guy. Brendan D says sensor loss seems to be with punch outs, but yeah, pretty random. Ooh, that's weird. I've never heard that before, Brendan. If it's only on punch outs though, the only real explanation for that would be that the receiver is maybe browning out a little bit. So try moving the receiver power to a different pad, and see if that helps. Also, if that doesn't help, try powering the receiver from somewhere else, basically. You know what I'm saying? Brownout means that like the voltage drops and it doesn't supply enough voltage to a thing, and it starts to kind of struggle, basically. For anybody that doesn't know what a brownout is. Interesting. Only on punch-outs. Huh. The sensor loss is also my warning that I'm starting to get really far away. So, but that doesn't correlate with punch-outs. Jeremiah Davis says, Babyhawk 2, hey, thank you, Jeremiah. Babyhawk 2 HD 3.5 inch. Really? I hope that was a typo. I hope it's not actually a 3.5 inch. But it would not surprise me for even a second. Which is why I immediately put my face in my hands. Nebula Pro already shipped. First bind and fly I have bought in a long time. Actually excited for this one. Interesting. Who knows the motor specs? Somebody tell me the motor specs and what voltage it's made for. Those are the things that I'm most interested in. The frame looks interesting. It looks like an A-arm frame, which is good. Emax's frames tend to not be super durable, and an A-arm frame should be pretty durable. Unless the only situation where I don't like A-arm frames, and when I say A-arm frames, instead of just having, like 4 arms like an X, they brace each of the arms in the front, the shape of an A. So each arm is like a little A. The only problem with A-arm frames is that if you're flying along and you don't, I mean, if you center punch something, it's always gonna, not always, but it's usually gonna break the camera. But on an X-arm frame, all right, so this is our X-arm frame, right? Here's the canopy, here's the front arms. If you don't center punch the pole and it comes in here, it just leaves a mark. The arm is pretty strong in here, whereas if you have an A-arm frame with the extra piece of carbon here, and you blast it with a pole or something, it's gonna break that front part almost certainly. It's a problem that I've had with Acrobrats forever. So yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about those A-arm frames. It doesn't happen super often, but it does happen, and then you have to switch the entire base plate. My Acrobrat is down at the moment because that happened, and I swapping base plates is just a lot of work. Alpha Saw says, what Betaflight settings would make a 75mm 0702, no RPM filter but on 4.2, whoop fly wobbly in angle but smooth in acro? Oh, that's interesting. Seems worse when just cruising than when doing harder flying. So the only thing that could explain why it's doing that in angle but not in acro is that my understanding is that, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe in angle mode, the PIDs are not used. So whatever the hell they're using for PIDs in angle mode, they're too low. And a 75mm whoop is not a great match for 0802s. A 75mm whoop is a better match for 1102s. So if you want angle mode to work better, I think you're going to have to switch to a motor that better suits that weight of propeller on the bigger tiny whoop frame, or just use horizon mode. Horizon mode uses PIDs, so you could replace angle mode with horizon mode, and then your PIDs that are already in there. If you're saying that it's smooth and acro, then the PIDs that you've got are enough to control the propeller. But that being said, you'll still get better performance going to 1102s because the response time will be better and they will control that weight of propeller better. And then you'll actually be able to lower the PIDs a little bit or leave them alone and just enjoy the better flight performance. Interesting. That's a super interesting thing for you to notice, Alpha Sloth. I'm kind of impressed that you noticed that. I've never... well, I guess I haven't used acro mode in 1,000 days and nights, so it makes sense that I wouldn't have noticed it. But yeah, that's a good job noticing that. That's pretty cool. YouTube's about to do the thing. There it goes. It did the thing. Scrolling back up. We got a couple super. We got a bunch of super chats. You guys are being super generous. Okay. CMYKFPV dropping the link to Fiverr. Thank you, brother. B-Man says, missed you yesterday, but hope all is well. Huckleberry FPV with a $5 super chat. He says that goose egg for Insta Go 2 fund was bothering me. Thanks for being you. All right. So the Insta 360 Go 2 fund, if you want to contribute to it, you got to call it out in your super chat. I should probably explain that more. But yeah, if you want to do a super chat to fill this up, you just got to mention it. You don't have to do what Huckleberry did and just like specifically say, like, you can ask a question and you can say whatever you want in there, but you just gotta, you gotta do like the super chat for the Insta 360 Go 2 fund. Otherwise the super chats just go to like life and health insurance and bills and rent and all that fun stuff. Cool Coyote says the 3-inch that I designed. Right, Cool Coyote. You guys, for the record, if you guys can, if you guys are like starting on a new platform or something and you want to make everybody's lives easier, use the same name. It's really hard to keep track of like CMYK is no, I guess CMYK did a good job with it. But yeah, it's hard when you guys have like one name here on YouTube, another name over on Discord, another name on Instagram, another name on, I mean, you all have a different name on Facebook, right? Yes, Cool Coyote. Now I know what you're talking about. Now I've connected the dots between you here, your name here, and your name on Discord, where we've been talking. I think we've been talking on Discord. We might have been talking on Instagram. It's hard to keep track. Abraham with it. YouTube's doing the thing there. No, it didn't. Ooh, no, it didn't. Abraham says, get that Insta 360 Go 2 and tell me if I should get it. Deal. We are up to 15. Look at us go. Benjamin West says, working on a oh, wait, no. Michael Blade saying, hey. Benjamin West saying, working on a 3-inch Vista Micro for freestyle. Can you recommend motors and a frame? Currently running 4500 kV RCX 4S 850. RCX what, Benjamin West? I need to know the recommend motors and a... Oh, okay. Currently running... All right, so since you're asking me to recommend motors, I don't need to know what motors you're currently running. 4S 8... Ooh, it's a big battery. Dragon Frog frame. Okay, so Vista. You need something that's going to fit a Vista, huh? Unfortunately, I'm not on the DJI train yet, so I'm a little bit limited in my knowledge of frames that will work with a Vista, but I can certainly help you out with motors. So 4S 850 is a big old battery. Big heavy battery. You're gonna really want, and you're going for a 3-inch frame, so I'm gonna make a motor recommendation here, and then I'm gonna try to back into a frame recommendation maybe. For motors, the smallest motor that I think I would recommend would be and I think this is the one that I am gonna recommend, which is the Brother Hobby 1504.5, which should be down below in the description, I hope. If it's not, let me know, because I need to add it. Yeah, Brother Hobby VY. VY is like the product line. 1504.5. Yes, the stator is 4 point. They're starting to do stators in 0.5 millimeter increments. No, it's not a good idea. Yes, it makes me crazy. But other than that, everything else about these motors is absolutely phenomenal. A frame for a Vista. I mean, so here's the deal. You could absolutely do this BQE Ripsqueak micro frame and then run. You'd probably need 25 or maybe even 28 millimeter tall standoffs. This build here has a RunCam hybrid in it, and the RunCam hybrid has a single stack HD board that I have on the bottom, and then I have my ESC and my flight controller. And I've got plenty of room up top here. See how much room there is? So I'm 99.9% sure that, and this is on 28 millimeter standoffs, I am 99% sure that this amount of space in the top here is enough for the Vista, because again, you won't need to have this bottom board for the HD like I do. So yeah, this would and this would be your lightest weight possible option. There are frames available like the Lumineer QAV-S, where they've made the frame longer so that you can have one 20 by 20 stack here and a second 20 by 20 stack there. Unfortunately, that also makes the frame heavier. And with 3-inch rigs, you got to be really, really, really careful about weight because it's very easy for them to become a little bit too heavy. So this would not be a terrible choice, this Lumineer QAV-S. I've heard from some people that the arms break right here, but those people are all running motors that, in my opinion, are way too tall and way too heavy. They're all running 1408 motors, and that could very well be why it's breaking here. A motor like this 1504.5 is much lighter and much lower. And it being lower is going to put less mechanical torque, right? Think of like a torque wrench. The big tall 1408 is a big long lever to just snap this arm in that exact spot. Whereas this 1504.5 with a T-mount propeller is nice and low, and it's not going to have as much of a lever to snap this arm. So yeah, a couple different options there for you. This will definitely give you more build room, but the sacrifice will be for weight. And here's the thing about breaking arms. As long as the arm doesn't break, like, the thickness of this arm seems to be pretty good. Like when I first got this out of the package, I was like, oh, that looks pretty good. I don't think that this arm is too thin. I think that the problem is the 1408 motors. 1408s are also extremely heavy. I'm willing to bet that with that 1504, this arm would be totally durable. And when the arm did break, you would want it to break. This is something that nobody talks about with frame design. Everybody just talks about, oh, I just need the most durable frame. I don't want the frame to ever break. Why? Replacing arms on frames is very easy and very cheap. Replacing motors is not easy and not cheap. So I would way rather have arms break than motors. But at the same time, you want to make sure that the arm isn't so skinny that it breaks all the time, right? Although you could argue that the earlier the arm breaks, the more the safer that is on the motor, right? Because the energy has to go somewhere. And if it's going to go into a $20 motor that requires soldering to replace versus a $3 or $4 or $5 or $6 or $7 arm that requires 2 screws to replace, I would rather replace 10 arms than 1 motor. So you could say, screw it, make the thinnest arms possible, let the arms break all the time. They're easy to replace. Move on with your life. So there you go. There's a couple recommendations. The Rip Squeak, as you can see, the arms are thicker. Well, you might not be able to see it. It's kind of hard to see, but just take my word for it. The Rip Squeak arms are thicker, and the build is going to be a little bit lighter. So, like, for sure, this is going to be a more durable setup because it's lighter and it's got more material on the arms. But that is going to put more energy into the motors. So technically speaking, this frame is going to be a little bit harder on motors than that one. That being said, the balance, like, I think these arms are the correct thickness. For me, that's a very personal kind of thing. For me, I think these arms might be just a tiny little bit too thin right here. I wish they were a little bit thicker right here. I could be wrong because I have not flown that because I only have 2 of the arms. I'm going to make this into a 4-inch rig. This, in my opinion, these longer frames are for 4-inch, not for 3-inch. For 3-inch, I really prefer to keep it set up as a single stack here so that the frame is shorter and lighter. But I don't run Caddx Vistas, right? So I don't have a need to fit that big, tall Caddx Vista that gets really hot. If I were on DJI, I very well might be building these for 3-inch frames, but I'm not there quite yet. Maybe down the road, because this is a really, I do really like this frame. This frame was designed by Ryan. Well, I already said it. This frame was designed by Ryan Harrell. I don't know if that's supposed to be public knowledge, but yeah, Ryan is a really great frame designer. He's done some really cool things with this frame. Cannot wait to get the 4-inch arms for this thing. It's going to be a really interesting 4-inch HD carrier. Although I'm still up in the air about 4-inch. I don't. We don't have any cameras, HD cameras that make sense for 4-inch propellers. All of our HD cameras are either light enough to be hauled around by a 3-inch rig, or heavy enough to require a 5-inch rig. Until we get like a 40 gram or a 50 gram HD cam, 4-inch doesn't make a whole lot of sense unless you do long range. 4-inch makes a lot of sense for long range. Where 4-inch might make a little bit more sense is with the Caddx Vista. Now that I say it, that's not true, because Caddx Vista builds can easily be down in the 200 to 220 gram range, which is 3-inch territory. Tiago Roma says, check the Amazon affiliate links. The rates depend on the category of the product. Oh, you're right. You're right, Tiago. You're right. Yeah, so more expensive stuff will be less. But it's still super awesome that you guys are remembering to use the affiliate links, because it's free money. And, like, that's pretty dope. Edward Ashley with a $4.99 super chat. He says, $300 for the Insta360 Go is steep for a beginner. Gonna stick with my Runcam Split 3 for HD footage. Good enough for my amateur edits. Looks sweet, though. Here's the flip side of that, Edward. You can get physical damage protection on the 360 Go 2. I don't disagree with you at all. I really wish they'd stuck with the $200 price point of the first. What do I call it? The Insta360 Go 1? It doesn't sound right? Edward, since you asked about the Insta360 Go, I'm gonna put your super chat into the Insta360 Go 2 fund. Runcam Split 3. Runcam Split 3. Yeah, right. Okay, so Runcam Split 3 is what, $60, I think? I did not have great luck with the durability on any of the Runcam splits. The Runcam hybrid's been pretty good, but still, you can't get damage protection on it. So keep that in mind. That there's a lot of value, especially because we're gonna break shit, right? Like, no matter what, there's a lot of value in the few camera products, because cameras are always the most sensitive and the most breakable things on our rigs. There's a lot of value if there is a way of getting physical damage protection. And when I say physical damage protection, I mainly mean Assurion on Amazon. On GoPros, you can get the GoPro has this thing for $5 a month where they cover physical damage. What is not covered by physical damage is on eBay. No, okay. If you buy something used on eBay, like a used GoPro Session, they offer you a warranty, or sometimes. That warranty that eBay offers, which is pretty cheap, it's quite a bit cheaper than Assurion on Amazon, that's your dead giveaway, that it doesn't cover physical damage protection. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think if you buy something new on eBay, the warranty is more expensive, and I believe it does cover physical damage, but look that up before you do it, because I got burned on a Session 5 on eBay that didn't have physical damage protection. But yeah, so essentially, if you can buy this stuff on Amazon, who offers, and if they offer Assurion on it for that physical damage protection, the fact that the Insta360 Go 2 is $300 becomes a lot less expensive, right? Because although you're on the I'm more comparing it to the Runcam hybrid. The Runcam hybrid you cannot get physical damage protection on. So at $90, it's absolutely reasonable to think that I could destroy 3 of these things, and I'm at almost $300. Whereas with an Insta360 Go 2, $300, and then $10 or $15 or whatever for the physical damage protection. Break it, get another one. Break it, get another one. Right. So keep that in mind. That cameras are gonna break. They're sensitive, and we fly things that are the opposite of sensitive. Drone Pilot says, I have 10-inch HQ props, and they growl. Dow prop on 7-inch are much more gentle. There you guys go. CMYKFPV says, what physical size battery are you rocking on Ripsweek Micro, long or short? I prefer the fat batteries so that I can keep the weight a little bit more centralized. Also because I typically run a Insta360 Go on it, which takes up a bunch of space here in the front, right? So like the long so I prefer 4S 450s on 3-inch rigs, and they make a really long 4S 450, and it just pushes up against this, and it pushes this down, and it kind of mashes up against the Insta360 Go. I really prefer the fatter, more square batteries, but there aren't many. Most of the batteries are a little bit longer, so it's kind of a pain in the ass. But GNB used to make a fat and short 4S 450, and I've got 3 of them that I like covet and take really good care of. Good question, brother. Tiago Ramos with 55.55 British Reals. He says, just because you are amazing. Thank you, brother. Very cool of you, Tiago. Hope you're doing well, my man. Although I know that you are, because I know you're a tough son of a bitch. Metal Dirtskin says, you checked out the Mamba 1505. I have not. Would be curious to see how those compare to Brother Hobby 1504.5s. If anybody has these I didn't even know that there was a 1505. If any of you guys have access to the Mamba 1505s, can you do me a favor and see if they're notchy, see if they're coggy? If you don't know what notchiness and cogginess means, I do have a video, or just message me and I'll kind of explain how you can feel that. Basically, like when you spin a motor by hand, it should be nice and kind of smooth. If there's like really defined notches, that's a motor that's going to create a lot of vibrations, and it's going to be it's going to be really tough to tune. The motors are going to get really hot. We do not want that. We want nice, smooth running motors. If you've only had like 1 or 2 rigs, you might not have had enough of an experience there. But yeah, I didn't even know those existed, but I'll order one at some point, because 1505 is the right size for a 3-inch propeller. Even better would be 1604 or 1605, but unfortunately there is no such thing at the moment. Forevermore says Lumiere Lux is just a White Rush mini tank. I thought so. So yeah, what I was saying about the Lumiere Lux, I believe is the problem. I believe that's the one that one of these new VTXs that does come like locked into pit mode, that it's just very annoying to get out. Rob Axon says we need a Relax at sub 250 shirt. Yeah, that'd be a good one too. It was probably you, but if it wasn't you, somebody mentioned that on a stream last week. Jonepot says, I look at kilometers traveled per prop, so cruising from 45 to 65 to be most efficient. Looking at the screen, MAH per kilometer, the total distance are comparable, but large pitch gets there quicker. Okay, so that's an interesting data point. Next time you're out flying, if it's remotely convenient, if you can lock them both in, like do that test and lock them both at 65 kilometers an hour, I would love to know if so here's the theory behind it, right? This is going to be hard to explain. More pitch is more angle on the propeller. All right? So let's say that we're going straight up with this rig, right? So a little bit of pitch, let's say 30 pitch is just a little bit, right? So now we start going up. At some point, we're going to be going up at the same speed that this little bit of pitch, the air coming in, man, is that hard to explain. If you do a little bit of Google research on prop pitch, Wikipedia and some other places do a really good job at explaining it. Versus if a prop has a whole bunch of pitch, you have to go faster before it like kind of hits this almost like equilibrium. Yeah, I can't explain it. I can't explain it well. But if you guys Google prop pitch, you'll very quick that's what I did to gain a little bit of an understanding of what's going on when a propeller kind of like maxes out almost. But it doesn't really max out, because then you can just spin it at a higher RPM, and that's where I don't fully understand the concept enough to actually break it down and be able to explain it. One of the really interesting things about like coaching and instructing is that you have to be really good at whatever the thing is, because the only way to break it down so that a beginner can understand it is to like really, really, really understand it. It's kind of interesting, like to be able to like explain something in a simple way. You have to be really good at it, or you have to like really, really, really understand it. It's just kind of like that. Huff19 says, I'll try that. Thanks. You're welcome, brother. Forevermore says brownout equals shit video. Drone Pilot says, yeah, it's a 3.5 inch. Emacs. Please stop it. It started with the Baby Hawk. It was a 2.3 inch. Stop. We don't need more prop sizes. More prop sizes is not the answer. It's not the answer. No. Stop it. It's probably great. 1404. Oh, wait, no. 1404 3700 kV. 1404 two people said that. And 4S. 3 people said that. Okay. So. Okay. That's good. That's usually not just Emacs, but most manufacturers will overprop a motor, and they have 3.5 inch is a little bit overpropped on a 1404. 3700 kV is way low though. That's yeah. See, so that's that's God damn it. That's the problem. 3700 kV. It'll be good on 3.5 inch, but it won't be great. But then that motor is a little too small for what a 3.5 inch prop is probably gonna weigh. So the easy solution there would be, let's just drop down to a 3-inch propeller. That's going to be a much better match for a 1404, but then that 3700 kV is not going to be quite enough. So what you would want to do is run a really pitchy 3-inch propeller, but then that propeller is going to be heavier. The more pitchier the propeller, the more weight, and then that's going to be overpropped on the 1404. So yeah, they should have made that a 5,000 or 6,000 kV 1404 and then motor scale it down. Something they could have done within the software. Rabbox says, so far behind in the chat. How far behind in the chat are you? Almost a half an hour. Holy crap. Here we go. I'm going to get caught up on chat, and then we're going to do the giveaways. I almost forgot about the giveaways. Johnny Droid says level P. I don't know what that means, Johnny Droid. Tag me again and tell me more. Sounds like an interesting question. UAV Tech says PIDs are used in angle. Huh. Are they scaled down or something, Mark? Well, screw it, Mark. Then why is he having that experience? Why is it wobbling around in angle mode but not in acro mode? Is it because is it maybe because angle mode doesn't have? Is it wobbling at 0 throttle? I don't think angle mode has air mode. So is it maybe wobbling at 0 throttle only? I didn't ask him that, and I don't remember him specifying. Could be that, maybe. YouTube did the thing. Scrolling back up. I was at like 10:35. Come on. Where we at? There it is. Eric Shannon says, any reason why I get worse video signal from the same spot on a different day? Eric, lots and lots of reasons. I mean, it could be, get this, if it's just rained and the tree leaves have absorbed all the water, you're going to get worse video when you go behind that tree. Just to give you an example of how how sensitive the signal transmission is, and to be honest, how low we run at a very low power. Like even at like 1 watt, like that's still not much power. Yeah, there are so many environmental things that could cause it. People's routers, cell phone towers, the amount of water in the tree. Yeah, there are so many reasons. It's what makes testing receivers and VTXs and goggle modules so difficult and kind of worthless. Like most of the testing is just, yeah, pretty worthless. You have to watch like 50 tests in order to get a feeling for which one is actually better, or you just pick the one that's in the coolest color and just move on with your life. And like, I know that sounds crazy, but like, we don't know. There's too many variables to really get a good feel for it. So like, buy whichever one makes you smile the most, and just focus on flying. That's my approach. Not really. I do a little bit of research. And then I stop, and I try really hard to not get obsessed, because spending any more time than a little bit of time is kind of wasteful. Alpha Slaw says, I put angle strength at 110, and it helps a little, but honestly, I built the swoop for light acro with crossfire. I have a Mybula 6 75mm conversion that flies like it's on rails. Thanks, guys. Angle strength at 110. Man, I haven't flown angle mode in a while. I can't even think what angle strength does. Angle strength. Is that the amount of force that it brings the damn thing back to level? I don't think that's going to boost the PIDs. I could be totally wrong there, though. HawkEyePV says, any thoughts on the Emax HD2? We just talked about that. It is Hawk. He is. Although Hawk, you have not repeated that for a while, so thank you for that. We just did talk about the Emax HD2 though, so we should be good to go by now. Ken Heron is here. I got to meet Ken a few days ago. What was that, Saturday? Every day feels like an absolute eternity to me. I think that was Saturday. Yeah, it was really good to meet Ken. And here he is in the chat. Welcome. Hopefully he's still here. I'm 100 million hours behind. He says, hey man, fun flying with you this past weekend. You as well, brother. Sorry I had to run. I broke all my stuff and yeah, had husbandly duties to attend to. But hopefully you'll make it back down here. Abraham says, anything with a spare 20x20 stack space can hold a Vista. Yeah, for sure. It's just with micro frames that's pretty rare, unfortunately. Nah, not unfortunately. Micro frames need to be very tight and need to be very conscious of weight. It's just sort of a part of the game. Mark Kunoff says Vista fits on a 20x20 mount for 3-inch go naked. Oh, okay. You're saying go naked to remove the weight from the Vista. Okay. How much weight does that remove when you make the Vistas naked? I could have sworn it was only like a couple grams, which I don't know. If it really is only a couple grams, I don't really know if that's worth it, because I know that the Vista gets really hot and like they're really expensive. So I would probably just suck it up and deal with the extra couple of grams for the money savings, basically. But if it saves 5 or 6 or 7 grams, yeah, now we're talking. Robert Davis says, I watched a lot of your freestyle sessions this weekend. I'm so impressed, bro. You just reach out into the treetops and pave a path. Thanks, Robert. Yeah, I've spent a good amount of time in my FPV career focusing on flying better, mainly because my past in spending a little over 10 years in motorsports, track days, autocross, stuff like that, I fell in love with instructing pretty quickly. And once I got good enough to be an instructor, I was an instructor for 7 or 8 years. And I really loved it. I mean, that was one of the... It was like taking a hobby that I already loved, and then it was like loving something on top of that. And it was just extremely rewarding. And it was just a really, really good experience. And through the course of that, I ended up becoming like the instructor chief of South Jersey Region Autocross program, and training like 11 other instructors. And then we would like basically force everybody on site that would come to our events to use the instructors, because like once you'd done a few events, you would kind of get a little bit of an ego and just be like, all right, I don't need the instructors anymore. I'm good to go. I can work on my own driving. And the hidden secret that a lot of the really fast guys would have is that we would use the instructors, regardless of the fact that we'd been 7 or 8 or 9 years in, because 100% of the time, the instructor in the passenger seat, not having to manage the steering wheel, the gas pedal, the brake pedal, the clutch, would see things in your driving that could be improved. Although, even outside of that, just asking another person to give you feedback, they're gonna see something that you can do better. It's just natural, right? Like, you develop bad habits, you have a different approach to certain corners, entry, exit, mid-corner, steady state, whatever that may be. You might have a completely different line through a Chicago box that's backed up right against a big sweeper. And just having another set of eyes to give you a different perspective is incredibly valuable. We had, there were 12 of us total, myself included, and we would literally just say, like, hey, everybody on site, all you 100-plus drivers, you have to take an instructor with you for at least one run. They can drive your car, or they can ride with you in your car. It'll be more valuable if they drive your car, believe it or not, or they can do both. That's what we really recommended. When they would drive your car, you would get a free run. One of the reasons it would be so beneficial is that they would be your tire warmer, and they would loop you right back into the 2-driver line, and then you'd go out on your run with them in the passenger seat. That was the ballast, so that it wasn't totally unfair. But you would have warm tires, so your first couple of corners you'd be able to really rail. Instruction is absolutely key with really high skill level activities. If nothing else, then because you have a second set of eyes that you have given the okay to give you feedback. That's another thing, right? Like, it doesn't always have to be somebody better than you. It definitely helps. But you have to give the other person permission to give you feedback. Because if they give you unwarranted feedback, you're not going to like it, you're not going to listen, and right? Like, that's just human nature. It comes off as criticism, it comes off in a negative way. So if you fly with people, at some point, if you can remember, and if you're strong enough, if you're not super egocentric, right? And if you're, when I say strong enough, that's what I mean. Tell somebody, hey, are you in the guy? Can you do me a favor? If you see me do something weird, just or just like, hey, I'm gonna fly a battery. Can you give me one piece of feedback throughout this battery? Just anything, something good, something bad, whatever. Can you give me one piece of feedback? And I think you'll be really surprised how insightful that person is. Even if, even if they're not as good as you, even if it's a new person will, oh, see, that's interesting. A new person will tell you something really interesting. I don't know what it'll be, but it'll be really interesting. And it'll be a really cool conversation that you have with that new person. I'm going to do that. I'm going to ask a new person to give me feedback. Because, so you look at like, so one of the things that I identified in my flying pretty early on is that when I would show like one of my friends an edit or whatever, if they were not an FPV person, they would be like, oh my god, dude, I can't watch this. You're like flipping all around and like all hell's breaking loose. I don't know what's going on. And I didn't love that, and that was one of the reasons why I slowed down my rates, and I sort of adopted a more kind of cinematic style of flying. And it's something that I always kind of keep in the back of my mind of like could a normie watch this and not get vertigo, motion sickness, whatever? It really changes your flying style, and if that's not the flying style that you enjoy, then don't do that. But for me, yeah, it's just sort of an interesting thing there. And I think a new person would give you a little bit of that kind of feedback, and could be good. Something's better than nothing. Maybe. Got to be strong, though. Got to be willing to take that criticism, not get pissed off about it. You asked them. Don't get mad at them if they tell you that when you do your power loops, it looks terrible, or there's prop wash, or I don't know what they're going to say, but I think you get what I'm saying. Robert Davis, thanks for the kind words. Yeah, I've spent a good amount of time in this hobby really focusing on my flying and doing things to get better. A lot of time in the simulator, a lot of time in the simulator. And then just a lot of like daily 10 battery days. Just for a long time, I would try to fly 10 batteries a day and do a half an hour in the simulator every single day. And if you do that for long enough, you're going to get really good, whether you like it or not. But you are going to like it. Kaiser Soze, great YouTube name. What are good settings for throttle weight and curve for Velocidrone? Can't get my Tyrannus dialed in. Kaiser, I don't think you're ever really going to be able to get totally dialed in Velocidrone. I certainly have never been able to, and I've never heard of anyone really being able to get any of the simulators perfectly dialed in. My approach to the physics on the simulators are never really going to be perfect. On one or two streams ago, I talked about how once I got about 3 years into flying, I stopped using the simulator because what I found is that simulators will never be perfect one-to-one, and once you get to a certain point of flying, once you've spent enough time flying, there aren't big gains to be had anymore. The gains get smaller and smaller and smaller, and as the gains get smaller and smaller, it becomes about subtlety, and with subtlety comes a need for your muscle memory to be like absolutely locked in. And if you spend a half an hour in the simulator, that is going to lock your muscle memory into the simulator. And then the next time you go out and fly, you're going to have to relearn that, and you're going to have to rebuild that muscle memory. And then if you come home and you go back into the simulator, you're going to bounce back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. One of the things that makes pro pilots so good is they pick a set of equipment and they run that over and over and over and over and over again. And that allows them to build that muscle memory. Every single time they fly, the throttle pickup is exactly the same. The roll right is exactly the same. The pitch forward is exactly the same. The amount of throw that the rig has is exactly the same. So yeah, what you're hitting on is that. My approach to the simulator is drop your rates in, spend a little bit of time trying to get it dialed in, and then just use it for what it is. Use it for, like rough practice. Use it to learn the really sketchy moves, all the backwards stuff, all the really high risk stuff, all the full throttle stuff, right? Like the tail in orbits. What's the fancy name for them? Trippy spin. The trippy spin stuff where you're like full throttle for a long time. Learn that stuff in the simulator. But then get out and do it for real, because that's getting out and doing it for real is the only thing that's going to lock in that perfect muscle memory. And you'll know when it happens. Like you'll notice that, like, oh, I spent a bunch of time in the sim and then I went out and I flew worse than I did. So you'll know when you've sort of outgrown the simulator. It's why in the motorsports world, the pros use like multi-million-dollar simulator rigs that are built on like proprietary firmware, big-ass shake rigs on like multi-axis. It's absolutely outrageous. But that's the only, they have to do that because otherwise these top tier drivers will lose that muscle memory, and that is unacceptable. You know, obviously they can't have that. F1 drivers can't have that, right? They won't have a seat the next season. Metal Dirtskin says Pyro sells 30mm M2 standoffs. I squeezed a Vista into a micro alien with those plus a 20x20 AIO. 30mm M2 standoffs. Wow, you had to run 30mm to squeeze a Vista, and you had to run a 20x20 AIO. Maybe I was wrong earlier. Jeez. I didn't realize the Vista was that tall. How tall is the Vista? I thought it was only like 12mm tall. Jeez. Okay. I gotta give that some thought. Chibi says, Yo, Ciotti, hope you're good. Just bought a BL Heli S ESC instead of 32 by mistake. Any suggestions on for good firmware for RPM filtering? Tried Blue Jay. Yeah, I have not tried Blue Jay yet. Luckily for you, Chibi, according to the Betaflight devs and the black box gurus, there is zero flight performance difference between BL Heli 32 and BL Heli S ESCs as long as you're running RPM filtering. Also, fortunately for you, you just need BL Heli. Just go into BL Heli, flash whatever the newest version is. I want to say it's 32.71. But, I mean, when you drop the list down, just do the highest one, and that's RPM filter capable. And, yeah, you're good to go. You just saved yourself a couple bucks. Vespula is in the house. Everybody check out FPV Flight Dynamics. I think it's actually out on the coffee table. Yeah, Vespula is the author of our only and a really damn good FPV book. So check it out. There's also a digital version of it, which we will be doing a giveaway for tonight in the Super Chat giveaway. It's 11:21. We haven't done the giveaways. I'm going to go as fast as I can through the chat to get caught up, and then we're going to do the giveaways. Here we go. Vespula says, Dear Mr. ERIN, I put my new DJI FPV drone into manual mode for the first time and had a brown out in my pants. Please help. I can't help you, Vespula. You bought the wrong drone, man. Sorry. You bought the wrong drone. You were able to write a book about FPV, and if you're that good at this hobby, that's not the drone for you. I tried to warn you. I did a live stream. We talked about it for 3 hours. You must not have been watching. All tongue in cheek, of course. Thanks for the super chat, Vespula. Very cool of you, man. Scroll. Obese Quad says, I wrecked a flight control ESC motors and a battery. Jesus. Frame was solid, though. No brakes. Jesus, Obese. What the hell did you hit? Or what hit you? 661 FPV says, have broken at least 4 arms on my Ripsqueak 2.5 and never yet had to replace a motor. But that was before I got the arm braces. Gotcha, 661. Yeah, see, there you go. So 661 has replaced 4 arms, which has cost him probably, I don't know, $15, $20. That's less than a motor. And it's just a couple of screws to replace the arms. No soldering required. It's a balance, though. It's a balance. You don't want the arms to break too early, but when they do break, don't get angry. I think that's the thing. If you break an arm, don't get angry. Look at the motor and be like, yeah, I saved you, little buddy. You're welcome. There you go. Rob Axelson says, Ken Heron was here and said, hey, yeah, wow, I'm really behind. Boostin' JDM says, what about collateral damage, pulled pads, or windings? So, really, really good point, Boostin'. It is very important when you run your motor wires that you allow for that. Never ever run your motor wires like directly straight out to the motor. Always run them into the body and give yourself a little bit of extra space, and then run them out so that when the arm does break, they don't yank the pads and they don't pull the windings out of the motor. Really, really good point. That's something that I do on my builds, and that I don't really explain too often. I just sort of do it and assume that you guys know why. But yeah, that's basically how I do it. I run the motor wires straight forward, down, flat to the plate, and then out. And just that little bit there gives it enough extra wire so that when the arm breaks, either up or down, it doesn't yank on the motor wires. Good call, man. Hawk FPV says you could use 3.5 inch on that QAVS frame. That's true. That's true. I won't, but well, maybe if they're good 3.5 inch props, that's yeah. We don't have many good micro props. It's pretty rare that a micro prop is well balanced, lightweight, good prop profile. So you never know. Rob Oxison, let me know again. Awesome, appreciate that. CMYK says tips for charging XT30 on a D6 Pro with XT60. RDQ sells XT60 to XT30, little super slick, real short, and they're like $1 per. Get you some. That's what I did. LCVFPV says GoPro is a scam. I don't really agree with that, but you guys are welcome to have your own opinions, of course. Rob Oxison says cheap physical protection damage equals don't crash. It's true. Word FPV says just gone done with a build. New motors. One is locked, not the screws, and the wires look great. That's what? Did you crash it? That makes no sense. Why it would be locked up right? I mean, there's probably something jammed in there. You know what happens a lot? These stupid little M2 screws will manage to work their way up into the motor, and they're really hard to see because it's they're small and they're black, and then the motor is all shady and shit. So check for that. The quality control isn't great, so it could just have been bad right out of the factory. That sucks, but I can kind of maybe see that happening. Abraham says, love my GoPro H8, but instead of trying to help their users, they revoke key features like ProTune. Yeah, that was pretty shitty of them. Insta360 designed and released a special stabilization mode specifically for FPV pilots. Yeah, I wish Insta360 would catch up with GoPro in terms of quality, but unfortunately they're just not there yet at all. So I really have to stick with GoPro in terms of just the video quality that you get out of them. Robox says, you got UAV tech in the house also, along with Ken Heron. Dude, you're making it happen. Thanks, brother. Drone Pilot says, I just got the Mamba 2204, and they're without a question the most silky smooth motors I've ever had. So that is a Mamba 2204. All right, really good feedback. Thanks, brother. 7-inch ultralight 1450. Lithium ion, 31 minutes flight. Oh my god, that's like homework. Scroll. FPV Trucker says, iFlight 1408 3600 3-inch Apex. They're not notchy. Wow, okay. So I've had a bunch of 1408s, and they have all been bananas notchy. So iFlight C1408. Interesting. I'm still not a fan of the 1408 stator size. It's just too tall of a stator. I don't fly at the top of the throttle all the time. But if somebody is looking to make, so where that motor would make sense would be a high speed 3-inch HD rig. So if you're looking to do that, if you're looking to build like an 80, 90 mile an hour 3-inch rig that gets clean HD footage and you can get a clean tune out of it, there you go. FPV Trucker says that the iFlight C1408 is not notchy. And I have never known every single 1408 I have ever, which has been a bunch, I've ever come across, it's like, and like my forearm is all bulging out. It's mainly because I'm such a skinny guy, but you know. Scroll. Drone Pilot says, I nav waypoint mission, travel point A, point B, and do the same speed for both props. Get back to you with detail. Awesome. 7-inch, bunch of blade pitches available. Beautiful, dude. Thank you. Brandon Bentley says, I don't know, maybe 3.5-inch is the answer. I think they're trying to maximize for sub 250. You never know. If Emax Avan 2.5-inch and 2-inch are the best of those class, in my opinion. The 3-inch is pretty good, but it's a little thin. So there's a good chance that this 3.5-inch prop is really decent. We'll see. I'll get some for sure. Scroll. Richard's. Oh, it's gonna do it. There it is. All right, gotta find my spot. Thanks, YouTube. You jerk. Oh wow, I'm not that far behind. Richard says that Baby Hawk 2 is 141. Okay, 141 grams without battery. Caddx Vista with 25 amp AIO. Oh, it's an AIO. God damn it. Well, yeah. All right. 141 grams without the battery. That seems pretty good, right? 141 grams on a 1404. Come on. Oh, balls. Come on. Tear. Oh, balls. I hit the wrong button. That, and then that. Little heavy. This is 133 in similar spec, but without the Caddx Vista. Yeah, it's about right. 141, maybe a little bit heavy. Yeah, that is a little heavy because it's got the AO, but that's because it's got the Caddx Vista. Interesting. Not bad. Not bad. Hopefully the frame's strong. Alpha Sauce says just at cruising throttle. Boosting JDM says bad accelerometer. I'm not sure what we were talking about, guys. You can certainly tag me again and give me more info, but I am about to dive into the giveaways. Forevermore says, that's how I roll. Johnny Druid says, higher pitch props are less efficient. At a given wattage, 100 miles an hour, the low pitch prop is nearing max RPM, meaning higher voltage. Max RPM, meaning higher voltage. Johnny Druid, what I'm getting at, though, is that a low pitch prop, you're going to have to, like, kind of overspin it. You know what I'm saying? And I think when you overspin it like that, that's when the efficiency dumps. Again, I could totally be wrong. But yeah, I'm not sure. This is making me want to do more research on prop pitch. Jordan Jordan also says the high pitch prop is drawing more current to achieve the same thrust at lower RPM. Interesting. Yeah, it sounds like I just need to do more research. Jason Crabtree says, have you tried 2 different weight propellers that have the same pitch on the same rig to see if response difference is really weight and not drag? I have not, Jason, but you're absolutely right. It is both. For sure it is both. The weight of the propeller is definitely going to affect response time, but then the pitch is also going to affect response time for exactly what you said. It's going to be more draggy. So yeah, you are dead on the money. We don't even have to test it. Like that's just sort of like a known kind of thing. Good call. Rob Axon says, to all, stay safe, live life like you stole it. Got to work in the morning. Thanks, brother. Maniac FPV says, I got you, bro. I'm 9 months in. Keep hitting the sim hard. And just put the time in. If you're already diving into what you were diving into to try to get it locked in, I think you're about as locked in as you're going to get the simulator. So just be like, I did as much as I could. Now I'm just going to put the time in, and yeah, it's gonna be huge for you. Oh, here we go. Mark hooking us up. UAV Tech says angle strength is the I-term gain in the PID controller used to set point. Wow. Compare sticks and down vector with accelerometer. Now I'm a little bit lost. When in angle mode, higher means it snaps you back faster to level. All right, well, I don't have much interest in angle mode. If you do, there's some awesome tech from UAV Tech. You can read it a couple times and really understand it. I'm just going to move on because I'm never going to fly angle mode. Sick of Life 90 says, I have an important question. Attitude V5 with a True D module or V6 out of the box? Sick of Life, I'm the worst person to ask about goggles because I've only ever had Eachine VR007 Pro $60 box goggles and my current HD3s. I have tried the HDOs and the HDO2s. Thunder. But I don't know any of the attitudes. I've never seen them. Joshua Bardwell is, to me, the best source of knowledge for goggle info, and I'm sure he's got videos on both of those. So refer to his videos. Trust the man. He knows better than me. HawkFPV says, any thoughts on the... HawkFPV. You're repeating the question a lot less frequently, but you're still repeating the same question. Stop it. Drone Pilot says 12 millimeters is the Vista. However, you need to put a nut on the bolt. It's best to keep it cool. A nut on the bottom that brings it to 16 millimeters at a minimum. I cut down my own bolts to do that. Wow, 16 millimeters. That is tall. Quessy Williams says, do you fly DJI or analog only? Analog only for us plebs, Quessy. Someday I'll get over to DJI, but it's going to be a while. It's expensive. It would cost a ton of money for me to move my fleet over to DJI, and I'm not willing to have half and half because it's not good for your muscle memory. And so yeah, it is all or nothing with me, and all with DJI is going to be like over $1,000. And that's just unrealistic for a while. UAV Tech is out of here. Again, go show the man some love. Give him a sub at the very least here on YouTube. Hit his Patreon too, though. I think I'm at the bottom. No way. Yes way. Carbon Cage in the house, standing upside down in Australia. Boostin' JDM says angle whoop bobble. Word FPV says, yeah, with the stuck motor, checked all the obvious stuff. Apparently it's a stuck bell from the company. It's being replaced, so all good. Yeah, there's that QC. There's that micro. You know what? The micro components cost pretty much the same amount to manufacture, but then they're expected to sell them for less. So go figure, they get less quality control. Yeah, that's awesome that they're replacing it though. That's let us know who that is, because let's give a shout out to whatever company is replacing it. That's a big deal. They don't all do that. Journey Droid says the low pitch prop is less efficient at high RPM than it is at low to mid RPM. Still more efficient than high pitch. Okay, gotcha. I'm glad I doubted myself then. Cool. We are caught up. When I get caught up, I need to do some stuff to get the giveaways going. And while I'm doing that stuff on the other monitor, FPV Cycle is replacing Bob Ruge, taking care of our boy. Thanks for that word, FPV. One of the perks of the Patreon channel is Sick of Life. I got to reread that. One of the perks of joining the Patreon is that you get access to some other channels on the Discord. One of those channels is the Video Collective. Weird thumbnail to be looking at. So yeah, you get access here to the Video Collective, and while I'm doing the thing in the place to get the giveaways going, I play a couple of these videos. So I'm going to just go and copy the link from the imposter Ciotti, and we're going to play one of his. If I can learn how to copy and paste. Oh boy, that's not it. That's not it at all. That's not how the internet works. I think I actually just clicked that and it magically, yep, there we go. All right, so we're gonna play this one. I've got to mute these so that I don't get thrown in federal prison. We're gonna go to Epidemic Set. Oh wait, no. No, it's fine. Hopefully it'll play without exploding. Okay, cool. So that's the music that I'm gonna put on top of these. And so we've got one. Let's get one here from CMYK. And get that paused. And then usually it takes me enough time to do about 3 of these. So Angular FPV is gonna be the third. All right. So yeah, I'll be right back. Enjoy these 3 fine fellas flying around with some Epidemic Sounds copyright-free music, and I'll be back with the giveaways all set up, and away we go. Come on, there it is. And be right back.
Don't think I'm ready for you. Don't think you're ready for me either. I know you've been with her too long. It's okay, I'm just saying. What if she told you that she still likes you and she wants you to come back? Would you go and pretend like I'm nothing, although you want her, want her, want her? I need you back, back, back. 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 Tryna figure who I am, and I want us both to understand. No misunderstandings, things left unsaid. No, I don't, no, I don't, no, I don't. What if she told you that she still likes you and she...
All right, boys and girls, I am good to go. Those are the last 3 videos in the Video Collective, is the name of the text channel over in the Discord. If you want to check them out, head on over there. And here we go with some giveaways. Sorry to make you wait this late, but that's the deal, man. It takes, stop asking such good questions before the giveaway, and we can do the giveaway earlier, I guess. All right, so here you go. Let me give you guys proof of entry. This is the Toothpick and Tiny Whoop tier. Here is your proof of entry. You guys can rewind in the chat. So I'm going to go through this quickly. And if you really want to check that you're on there, you can rewind and take a look. But, I mean, if you go to Patreon and it says active, you're good to go. I just kick out a CSV from over there. And it gives me everybody's names. So this is this really cool 3D printed, that's the button, Whoop case. And then a 3D printed little battery box for him as well. And then shout out to GemFan, my prop sponsor, for sending over a big old box of giveaway props for you guys. This is all of the good Tiny Whoop and 2-inch propellers. All the ones that I fly and I really genuinely think are the best options. There's a whole bunch of them in there. And then, of course, a Newbie Drone Cockroach purple frame. I don't know why, of course, but, sometimes words just come out of your mouth and you're immediately horrified by how strange they were. So yeah, here we go. We're going to spin the wheel for this, and then I'm going to write somebody's name down, and someone will have won. F15, Goat at the ready. Wheel being spun. Let's see who it's going to be. I think it's going to be Jonathan King. Not even close. It's between Conrad and Keith Jones. It's Conrad Young. Congratulations, Conrad. I will be messaging you on, what's it called? Patreon for your address. And I'll send you some stuff, man. Conrad Young. The other reason I do these, the majority of these through Patreon, is so that you don't have to come to the stream. Like, some people work Monday nights, right? And I don't want to punish them for being such hard workers that they're willing to work on a Monday night. So yeah, this way you don't have to be in the stream to win. Next up, we've got the 3-inch micro brushless wheel. It's a bag of the T-Motor 1504 V2s and a whole bunch of these, I think they're 2.5-inch T76. No, they're 3-inch. 3-inch tri-blade Cinewoop props. Although, man, these props are really good. These will work as freestyle props too. But they will only run on these T-Motor 1507s. So here is our wheel for that, and here is your proof of entry. going fast because you can rewind, or you can just go over to Patreon and make sure that it says active next to your name, and you'll be good to go. Shuffling them up, getting the goat in my hand, pushing the goat down, and clicking the thumb. The what's it called? A mouse? I'm feeling Burlton. Nope, it's EE-Doc. EE-Doc, Ooh, it almost wasn't. EE-Doc, congratulations. I'm going to write your name down. I'm going to message you on Patreon. You're going to give me your address. I'm going to send you some stuff. Congratulations, brother. You are getting 1507'd up. And now we've got the 5-inch tier with these very cool 2305, F2305, 2300 kV motors. Whoever wins these, make sure you tell me how they are. 2305 is a really interesting size. It's arguably a better size than 2306. AMAX made a set of 2305s that were just phenomenal. They weren't very durable, though. I would really love to get a durable 2305. And then also a set of the DAL 5135 floppy props, and oh no, these aren't the DALs. These are both GemFan. 2 sets of GemFan 5135, the floppiest proppiest of all. We've got this wheel here. Here's your proof of entry. Scrolling quickly. There you guys go. And many clicks of the shuffle button. Goat at the ready. I think it's going to be Travis Easterday. Nope, it's going to be Kyle Newcomb. Here it comes. Kyle Newcomb, congratulations. You have won, my friend. I will send you a message over on Patreon and then send you some stuff. And I always feel like I rush through the giveaways when they end up being so late. But that's okay. I mean, I kind of might as well rush through the giveaways. It doesn't make much sense to drone on endlessly about free stuff when we should be droning on endlessly about FPV. All right, time for the Super Chat giveaway. This is going to be a FPV Cycle CiottiFPV Skadoosh shirt. Wait, no, here we go. Very, very kindly sent over by Nevin at FPV Exchange. If you haven't been on FPV Exchange yet, you're missing out. It's fpvexchange.com. Go over there and sign up. And when you set your account up, go into your little account page. And what you can do is import all of the purchases that you've made from all the big websites. And then what's really cool is you have everything FPV related you've ever bought in one spot, which in itself is pretty dope. And then as you're looking around and you've got stuff that you're not using, you click a switch and it's for sale. Just like that on FPV Exchange. You don't have to take pictures, you don't have to deal with idiots. You just hit a button, and it's also for sale amongst all the other shops. Like, one of the things that you can use FPV Exchange for is to price shop and find the best price on XYZ motor, for example. And if you've decided to click that you're selling that motor, you're going to show up above all the other resellers. And you ain't going to get that from Facebook Marketplace. So, yeah, FPV Exchange, man, they've also been incredibly generous with this channel. So if you like my content, you kind of owe it to them boys to jump on over there and check out their website. But I know you're going to like the site. This is an extra large. If whoever wins this is not an extra large, bug me, and I have some other shirts. Maybe there's some non-extra larges. Also, it is a... I've been saving this frame for a long time to build it, but it is time to let it go. This is a... I don't even remember the name of the frame, but it's long since discontinued. This is a Rotorius OG toothpick frame, basically, as you can kind of see in there, with the camera mount, standoffs, TPU, a VTX03 VTX in there, and a little 10 amp 2 to 3S 20x20 ESC. This is a 2-inch frame, and this ESC is all you will ever need for a 2-inch rig. and also a set of the incredibly expensive CiottiFPV 3-inch ducts. These are the ones that are specifically kind of ground down on one side for the Acrobrat, but they'll work on any 3-inch frame. So it's super cool that they'll work on the Acrobrat, but not only the Acrobrat, with a bunch of the guards, and they're in the correct color as well. So this giveaway here is going to be Super Chat and PayPal based. You're going to do a $5 Super Chat or a $10 Super Chat, or $5 PayPal or $10 PayPal. $5 to get on the wheel once, $10 to get on the wheel twice. If you want to do PayPal, YouTube won't take 30%. You go to CiottiFPV.com, you scroll down to the bottom, there's a PayPal button, and then you just do the thing there. So we're going to give it like, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes, however long it takes me to get caught up on the chat, and then we'll spin this wheel one more time, and somebody will win a little... Oh, and also, it's a copy of FPV Flight Dynamics, a digital copy of FPV Flight Dynamics, which is downloadable on the Apple bookstore, and a set of Tweet FPV, transmitter, grip tape, controller, super magical, guaranteed to make you fly better, transmitter, grip tape, grips. It's been a while since I've given the full name of Tweet's awesome grips. So yeah, lots of good stuff in the giveaway. You're just gonna basically email. I'll tell you afterwards. Toxic FPV says, "Let's get it because I'm feeling lucky." He goes on the wheel not once, but twice. And where is that last wheel? Here it is. Right, and Toxic twice. And then we've got Dustin Gable. He's going on the wheel. Thank you, Dustin. Thank you, Toxic. And all right, let me give this a minute to fill up. I'm going to scroll up a little bit on the chat and get caught up. EEDoc says, "Holy crap, the sweater works." What sweater is that, EEDoc? T-Bird FPV is finally here. He's been working all night. Hard working man, that T-Bird. Word on the street is Word FPV. Speaking of words, he says, "Have a great night, man. Thanks for the entertainment/education. Thanks for hanging out, Word, but you're probably already gone. But maybe you're hearing this on the replay." There's the imposter, Captain Big Tooth Gangly Sado. Sick of Life says, "CiottiFPV like a section of the horizontal axis that always seems to shift to the left or right slightly." Sick of Life, that was a video problem, right? Also, do you ever get weird pulling lines in your camera? Whew. I don't think I ever have. Section of the horizontal axis that always seems to shift to the left or the right slightly. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Chat, have any of you guys ever heard of that? Sick of Life is talking about it right here. Word FPV says, "FPV cycle is replacing." Very cool. And look at that. I'm actually caught up on the chat. Okay, so you better hurry if you want to get on this giveaway, because this is going to be a quick one. Usually it takes me like an hour to get caught up on the chat, so you have plenty of time to do your super chats and or your PayPals. But gotta hurry tonight. As soon as I get the PayPal emails and the super chats caught up, we're going to spin that wheel. So here we go. I got Toxic on, I got Dustin on. B-Man with a $20 super chat. Throw the rest in the old G-string. Jesus, B-Man. B-Man, he only goes on the wheel once for that horrible mental image. Thanks, brother. LCB FPV says, "Gotta try for that book, yo." Love it. LCV goes on the wheel 2 times. Robert Davis says, "How about Cash App?" I don't have Cash App, Robert Davis. Sorry, brother. Yeah, it's got to be PayPal or Super Chat. I'll think about other ways. I've never thought about other ways, so maybe by the next giveaway I'll have a third option for you. EEDoc says, "Oh, I'm wearing the collective sweater, now proven to improve your chances of winning the giveaway." See, there you guys go. Over on CiottiFPV.com, there's a link to a Teespring store, and yeah, if you buy something there, according to EEDoc, you'll have a better chance at winning the giveaways And then, you know, whatever you bought over there will basically be free because you'll win so much stuff. How about that for a sales pitch? Huckleberry FPV with a $10 super chat. He goes on the wheel 2 times. Once and twice. Let's go back over here. We got Edward Ashley. Lucky to be a lady tonight, he says. Nice. Edward goes on the wheel. And Huckleberry says, why not? If I win, I can give those ducks to someone in the collective. Very cool of you, Huckleberry. Huckleberry, rather. Supercell is in the house. What's up, brother? He PayPal'd. Awesome. Yeah, if you guys PayPal'd me, do me a favor in the chat. Type CiottiFPV and type the word PayPal to make sure I don't miss you. William Barlow with a $9.99 super chat. He's going on 2 times. Once and twice. Robert Davis says send it, and he sent $10. So I'm going to send his name onto the wheel 2 times. I'm sorry for that. Just ridiculous. Oh my God. Supercell says I sent 100 on PayPal. Don't add me to the wheel, though. Dude, Billy, super cool, man. Thank you so much, brother. Supercell is an OG fan and supporter of the channel. So everybody show that guy some love. Head on over to his channel. I believe he's got some edits up over there. Show Supercell the love of the collective, and the absolute least that you guys can do is throw him a subscription over on his channel. Just search for Super Space Cell. Or actually, Billy, do me a favor. Drop a link to your, or one of the mods, drop a link to Supercell's channel. Dude, super cool of you, man. Yeah, amazing. You guys are, you guys have me at a loss for words more often than I probably should be as somebody whose career is talking. But, yeah, man. Love it. Thanks, brother. Very cool. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the right one. We've got Geo Fairbanks. He's going on 2 times. DJ CJX says, guess I'm joining the Patreon tomorrow. Can't wait to have you over there, DJ. All right, now let me get the PayPal's going here. John Ray, Metal Dirtskin sent 5. He's going on the wheel. And let's add a bunch of lines here. All right, there is Supercell. Damn, dude, so cool. Thanks again, Billy. He says, take care, brother. I will, thanks to you. And all these other awesome people. Frank Nicholas with a $10 super chat. He says, reroll for the book. I own both physical and digital. Very cool of Frank. He's going on the wheel once and twice. And then we've got a tenner from Steven Steinbaker. Thank you, CMYK. I have finally connected in my brain your human name and your YouTube name. Tyler Sherrard, the old T-Bird, sending $10 to go on the wheel, not once, but twice. Speaking of T-Bird, I forgot to mention this 3D printed Whoop case is courtesy of him. He dropped this off last time he was over here hanging out in the little battery box. So shout out to T-Bird for donating these to the collective. If you want to show him some love too, head on over to his channel, give him a subscribe. I'm sure he would not mind it. And right, I got Tyler on there 2 times. And then we got a Patreon message. All right, Edward Ashley, I will send you the I'll send you those links for sure. No worries. Thanks for joining the Patreon. The Imposter also joined the Patreon. Thank you, brother. CMYK chart. Oh. CMYK already. Oh no, I didn't. We'll work it out. Remind me, CMYK. I've totally forgotten. I put it in the package, but the package actually hasn't gone out yet. It is in the car, so I will rip it open. Free Range Chicken edited his pledge. Thank you, brother. And then I'm caught up. All right, cool. So let me just make sure real quick I'm not missing anybody. Frank, got you. CMYK got you. T-Bird got you. And awesome. Robert Davis says the wheel is putting us in a trance. Everybody is on here. I'm going to hit the shuffle button a whole bunch because I don't trust randomizers after the weirdness that we had with the old one. And go. And click. I see into the future a win for Huckleberry FPV. Maybe not the William Ballers coming in high. Nope. Huckleberry wins. Congratulations, Huckleberry. Now the work begins. You need to message TweetFPV at tweetfpv@gmail.com. And you need to say, hey, I won Ciotti's Monday night giveaway on March 15th. I have XYZ radio. My favorite color is CiottiFPV purple. If I find out that you got any other color from him than CiottiFPV purple, I won't be mad. I'll just be disappointed. He does have other colors. And then you need to give him your address and your email if you'd like tracking and your real human being name. And he will send you the grips. And then I need you to message me at CiottiFPV on either Facebook or Instagram or Patreon or Smoke Signals, wherever you'd like. I need you to tell me, hey, it's me, Huckleberry FPV. I only know you as Huckleberry FPV, so that's important. Because on this bag, I'm writing Huckleberry FPV. This is why doing the giveaways only on YouTube is a nightmare. And doing them through Patreon is incredible. But, you know, I don't want to force people to join the Patreon. I just want to heavily guilt trip you into it. Yeah, I need you to say, hey, it's Huckleberry FPV. Here's my first and last name. Here's my address. Here's my email address because I would like you to send me a tracking number. And do me a favor and remind me about the book, if you don't mind. And I'll send you a PDF with a code for the book, and then I'll keep waving this magical clicky Sharpie around the screen. And I'll also send you a bunch of stuff. So yeah, shoot me that message somewhere, and we'll hook it up. Remind me about the book. I'm brain dead at the moment. You're certainly welcome, Huckleberry. Congratulations, my man. A couple questions here. Nick Sebring says, finished my tadpole build during Joshua's live stream. Stupid question. I purchased some GemFan 2540 to put on the Zing 1404 motors. I had extra screws from the motors. Assume they were props. The screws are too short to pass through the hub and into the motor belt. Is it common to have to purchase separate screws? It's not, Nick. With motors, they usually give you two sets of screws. They give you one set that's too short for any of the they give you one set that's way too short to use for anything, and then they give you another set that are M2 by 7. M2 by 7 is the right length for the propellers. So yeah, it's not you. I don't know. Apparently, these motor manufacturers think that we're all using like 1mm arms because the motor screws that they include are like M2 by 3 or like M2 by 4. And on all the modern frames, the arms are like 2.5 or 3mm thick. So an M2 by 3 doesn't even get through the damn arm. So yeah, it's not just you, man. M2 by 7 is the size that you need. M2 by 7. That is the most common T-mount propeller size. There are 1 or 2 T-mount propellers where the hub is a little bit skinnier. I'm looking at you, Emacs, as usual, doing non-standard stuff, where you can run on most motors M2 by 7s, but some motors don't have quite enough clearance for that skinnier hub, and you actually have to use M2 by 6. But that's pretty rare. M2 by 7 will cover like 99% of propellers and be the correct screw dimension. I have M2, I believe, over on the Etsy store. I have M2 by 7s available for you. Huckleberry FPV with $100 super chat. He says, "Gotta send me one of your stickers though." Deal, Huckleberry. Deal. I'll send you 2, maybe even 3. I'll send you every sticker I've got. Is what's really gonna happen. Huckleberry FPV is gonna be the second one to get one of my brand new sticker designs here. This is actually a version of my signature. So yeah, Huckleberry is going to get the unavailable, exclusive, brand new sticker design that I haven't had a chance to get up on Etsy yet. Awesome. My God, you guys, the best. Huckleberry, shoot me a message with your address, and I will send you a bunch of cool stuff. Send me if there's like something, I don't know, if there's like a set of propellers or like something that you've been wanting to try, or you've been curious about, or that you need or something like that. Throw that in there too, and I'll scrounge around and see if I have something like similar, or yeah, if there's something you've been curious about or whatever. Damn, dude, very, very cool. Very, very, very cool of you. It is 12:07, and that means that we are going to wrap this mother up. Unless anybody drops a question at the last second, like Nick Sebring, who says, "Thanks, gotta go, 6 a.m. is coming up soon." That's not a question. You guys have about 15 seconds to drop a question. Hey, Ruby Tim's got a question. There we go. This is going to be the last one of the night. Had a question for you and decided to wait for tonight's stream instead of DMing you, so the collective could have input as well. And now I forget what that question was. Yeah. Boost and JDM says M2x7 quantity 100 for $9 on Amazon. I just got some a few days ago. I think that's why I have a bunch of those extra M2x7s, because I think I did that at one point as well. Damn. Super generous night. Very, very cool. I was pretty sure I wasn't going to stream tonight. I got some stuff going on in real life that's just kind of knocking me out, but I'm getting through it. And yeah, I'm very glad that I trusted myself and I trusted you guys to make this an awesome stream. So yeah, man, thanks guys. Very, very cool. Let me give you guys a little bit of flying. That's something I can do for you that has a little bit of value, to just kind of say thanks. I struggle for ways to really say thanks to you guys. I know that, you know, the streams are what you guys are coming for and whatnot, but I don't know. It feels good to push myself to give back a little bit more, as much as I possibly can. I take that very seriously. Oh my God. Speaking of generosity, we've got a new top patron. So my audio is going to go away for a second, but I'm going to add him to the splash screen right now as a shout out. Stephen Goler, dude, thank you. He just joined the $50 Patreon stream, so I'm going to add him right now, because that's pretty cool, right? I'll be right back. This isn't the end of the stream. I'll be right back. You'll see what I'm doing. That took way longer than I thought. I thought I'd be able to do that in like 1 second. Here comes some flying. I'm just gonna leave the audio, the prop audio for you. Wow, guys, yeah, again, huge thanks to everybody that continues to support me and that did the super chats tonight, and just even you guys, of course, that hang out. Yeah, because you're helping the algorithm. You're doing the affiliate link stuff. It's I'm a lucky dude, man. I'm a lucky dude to have such a cool community, and yeah. Thanks, guys. Here comes some. The memory card is called. This memory card is called Sacco. And we're gonna go in here, and let's take a look. What do we got here? Nerf shirt. What day is that? No, we already saw a bunch from there. What's this? Oh, this is a cool little spot. I don't think I showed you guys anything from this spot yet. Let me grab one. Oh, come on, computer, really? No, we saw a bunch of that. You guys are probably sick of seeing that spot. Oh, hey, here you go. Here's here's, oh man, what is, can I just look through the memory card for a second without you just completely shitting the bed, computer? I guess not. Maybe not. I didn't think that this was so processor intensive, but you know, apparently scrolling through, oh, there we go. Oh man, I don't know. Here's the, oh wait, no, here we go. There might be a guest appearance from a wild Ken Heron in this one. This was when I first got to this spot, and I'd never flown it before, and I was just kind of farting around in the field. Enjoy. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks again, everybody. I'm not ready. I say these things, and I'm not ready at all. Here we go. Now I'm kind of ready. Still not really ready. Here we go.
Parking situation there?
Oh. I guess I should explain that the story behind this is that everybody was kind of already packed up, so everybody was just watching line of sight. So this is me trying to look impressive line of sight, basically. Later, guys.
Thank you.